What if I told you there was an NBA player who didn't just flirt with greatness, but actually carried the weight of a legend's shadow, and in many eyes, still outshone it? A player believed by fans, peers, and critics to rival Michael Jordan at his absolute peak, and even to challenge the idea of the greatest shooter of all time. That man was Dražen Petrović, a Croatian prodigy whose rise was meteoric, whose dominance transcended continents, and whose life ended far too soon. Let me take you back to a story of brilliance, heartbreak, and enduring legacy. Dražen Petrović was born October 22, 1964, in the coastal town of Šibenik, Croatia, when it was still part of Yugoslavia. He grew up in a modest home, but one always echoing with the bounce of a basketball. By the time he was 15, disruptively young for professional standards, he was already playing in the Yugoslav League, representing his hometown club Šibenka. At that age, most kids were dreaming. Petrović was performing. He demanded attention with every dribble and shot. After fulfilling his military duty, he signed with Cibona Zagreb, joining his older brother and beginning the ascent that would shake European basketball. In Zagreb, Dražen's name transitioned from promising to mythical. He produced performances that bordered on absurd. He scored 112 points in one league game, a feat so unbelievable it still echoes in the annals of European basketball. He dropped line after line of 40s, 50s, game-winning threes, and dazzling passes. He threw up 20 assist nights. He hoisted back-to-back EuroLeague titles. He didn't just dominate. He made domination look easy. All the while, scouts across the Atlantic watched. In the 1986 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers stunned onlookers by selecting him 60th overall. It was audacious. But Dražen opted to remain in Europe, still conquering the continent rather than chasing uncertainty in a league that had yet to accept an international star fully. He signed with Real Madrid and delivered performances for the ages, including a still-standing record of 42 points in a Spanish League Finals game. Still, the hunger for the ultimate test remained. In 1989, Dražen arrived in Portland. His first season in the NBA, 7.4 points per game in limited minutes, coming off the bench, a whisper of stardom in a league skeptical of European shooters. He shot brilliantly, nearly 48% overall and 45% from three, yet averaged barely a dozen minutes a night. It was underutilization wrapped in frustration, but Dražen was never one to fade quietly. In the 1990 playoffs, he demanded attention, sparking a 9-point burst in just 9 minutes to rescue Portland in one game. In another, he dropped 11 crucial points in double overtime to keep them alive. The Blazers rode their offense deep into the finals. Dražen, though, was benched for much of the series. The Pistons, defensive and ruthless, captured the title in 5. Dražen watched from the bench. The message had been sent, but it wasn't heard yet. Frustrated and constrained by Coach Rick Adelman's guard rotation and the Blazers' crowded backcourt, Dražen pushed for a change. He was traded to the New Jersey Nets, where for the first time, he would be given space to breathe. The transformation was remarkable. In his first few games, he totaled 14 points, modest but promising. Then came the night he faced Michael Jordan in Chicago. Dražen scored 17, Jordan 26. Not quite a win, but a moment of validation. As seasons progressed, Dražen grew into a franchise's heartbeat. He started, he played every game, and he scored with ruthless efficiency. In the 1991-92 season, Dražen led the Nets with 20.6 points per game, shooting an astonishing 51% from the floor and 44% from three-point range. He became the definition of lethal scoring. Playoff after playoff, he elevated his game. 40-point nights, improbable shooting stretches, leadership beyond his years. In 1992, he led Croatia to an Olympic silver medal, headlining against the U.S. Dream Team and scoring 24 points against the greatest team ever assembled. In that game, no player tied his point total. He had dared to compete with legends, and not just to make up the numbers, but to dominate. The 1992-93 NBA season became his crescendo. Dražen averaged 22.3 per game, shot 45% from deep, hovered near the top in efficiency, and was named All-NBA Third Team, the first European ever honored so. He had become indispensable. Still, the Nets' playoff run ended in disappointment. But Dražen's star only blazed brighter. He stood as the clearest proof that Europeans belonged, not as novelty imports, but as superstars. Then came June 7, 1993. on a rain-soaked German Autobahn. Dražen was sleeping in the passenger seat of a Volkswagen Golf when a truck crossed the median and crashed into their car. He was ejected on impact, dying instantly at just 28 years old. The shock was cataclysmic. A career so rich, so luminous, extinguished in a heartbeat, yet even in death, his influence only grew. The Nets retired his number 3 jersey, NBA arenas observed moments of silence, and both the Naismith Hall of Fame and FIBA's Hall honored him. In Croatia, he became a hero beyond sport. His name adorns stadiums, squares, a memorial center, and is spoken in reverence. Every European guard entering the league carries a piece of his legacy. From Dirk Nowitzki to Luka Doncic, Dražen's path made theirs possible. He didn't just compete with Jordan, he redefined what it meant to be a sharpshooter in an era when the three-pointer was far less central. He merged offense, tenacity, heart, and courage into each possession. Could he have been greater than Steph Curry? We'll never know. But his devotion, tenacity, and skill suggest he could have stood toe-to-toe in that pantheon. Dražen Petrovic's story is not wrapped in what-ifs. It's etched in courage and inspiration. The kid who left home to conquer Europe, who defied expectations in America, who raised the standard of shooting, and whose life was stolen when his best years lay ahead. He remains timeless, immortal in impact. If his story moved you, if his brilliance and tragedy struck a chord, click that like button, hit subscribe, and drop me a comment. Who do you think would have challenged him in today's era? Could Dražen be considered alongside Curry or Jordan as the greatest shooter ever? I want to hear what you think. And trust me, Dražen's legacy is just getting started in conversations like this.